News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
We hear from the man who shot bin Laden. Good morning, everyone. This is Montana Morning. It is Thursday, November 13th, 2014. Right now, we have a blazing 1 degree above zero. Brr. Oh, all right. Right now, our newscast this morning is sponsored by Diggett Excavating, bringing 30 years of excellence to every job. Give them a call at 214-4292. Yesterday, or I should say Tuesday on Veterans Day, Fox News released an interview with Robert O'Neill, the native of Butte who became a Navy SEAL sniper at the age of 19, who will go down in history as the man who shot Osama bin Laden. During the interview on Fox News, O'Neill says he received a tip from an informant about where bin Laden was and chose to pass up a leadership position so he could go toe-to-toe with bin Laden.
The analyst told me, if you want to get a shot at bin Laden, he's on the third floor. So I actually talked myself out of a team leader spot so I could stay on the helicopter and then go to the roof. And then that was what we called the Martyrs Brigade. So we volunteered to get on the roof, and then we're going to jump into the balcony, and then we're going to have a shootout with bin Laden from the balcony inside.
O'Neill also describes the tension his team felt before the attack on bin Laden's compound in Pakistan.
The more we trained on it, the more we realized this is going to be a one-way mission. We're going to go and we're not going to come back. We're going to die when the house blows up. We're going to die when he blows up. Or we're going to be there too long and we're going to get arrested by the Pakistanis, and we're going to spend the rest of our short lives in Pakistan prison.
When asked if O'Neill and his team had second thoughts about the mission, O'Neill said, quote, "We knew we were going to die eventually. This was a good way to go," end quote. In electing new leadership for the 2015 legislative session, Montana Senate Republicans have kept the more conservative edge they adopted in 2013. Republicans retained control of both chambers after last week's election. The Senate Republican caucus yesterday elected Debbie Barrett of Dillon its Senate president. Republicans chose Austin Knudsen of Culbertson to be Speaker of the House. Barrett says although Republicans and Democrats are coming from the opposite ends of the spectrum, she hopes everyone from both parties will be able to support good ideas. Senate Democrats elected John Sesso of Butte as their minority leader, while House Democrats chose Chuck Hunter of Helena as minority leader. The 2015 session begins January 5th. Back in September, Missoula Community Medical Center entered into an agreement to be sold to Billings Clinic Regional Care Hospital. Spokesman John Barnes outlined the Attorney General's legal involvement in that sale.
The proposed transaction, which is an acquisition by Billings Clinic, would be essentially converting Community Medical Center to a for-profit entity. And so there are charitable assets there that have to be dealt with properly. There
will be a public meeting coming up Wednesday, November 19th, to discuss the various issues surrounding the sale. Barnes says all parties to the sale will be making comments.
We're going to have the parties to the transaction. They'll be allowed to give a presentation and make their case. We will have some representatives from our Office of Consumer Protection who will be there to basically discuss the scope of our review.
The meeting will be at 5:30 p.m. at Missoula's Hellgate High School. The public is, of course, encouraged to attend and to comment. A 34-year-old Montana man has been sentenced to 40 years in prison for the kidnapping and robbery of a suspected drug dealer that ended with the man's death. The Billings Gazette reports District Judge G. Todd Baugh on yesterday sentenced James Adam Walker to 45 years in prison with 5 years suspended for the January 2013 crime that led to the death of 29-year-old DeJuan Laster of Rockford, Illinois. Prosecutors alleged Walker and co-defendant Simon Elliott Jacobson posed as law enforcement officers and kidnapped Laster and his girlfriend from a Billings motel. The two men robbed Laster of $8,000 and took him out of town, where Jacobson shot Laster in the head and beat him with a shovel. Jacobson is now serving a life sentence. Missoula residents had their first chance to see the results of a recent effort in asset mapping on Wednesday in the Jack Reedy Conference Room adjacent to the City Council chambers. Land use planner with the Sonoran Institute in Bozeman, John Levy, says the asset map portrays the parts of Missoula that survey respondents thought were most precious to them.
They value being able to recreate. They value their natural resources and open spaces and rivers. They value the economic health and prosperity that Missoula offers. They offer the culture and the history of this place. They value the character and the authenticity of a lot of these different neighborhoods.
Levy says asset mapping is one part of a city's growth policy update.
The Our Missoula initiative is being run by the city to update the city's growth policy, which is the guiding document for the future of growth and development in the city of Missoula.
The asset map will help the city determine which areas should be maintained, enhanced, or renewed. A judge has sentenced a West Virginia woman to 5 years in prison for trafficking nearly 300 pounds of marijuana in a recreational vehicle through Yellowstone Park. 53-year-old Daphne Watkins pleaded guilty, and U.S. District Judge Scott Skobdal on Friday recommended imprisonment at a minimum security facility in West Virginia. He also ordered Watkins to forfeit the RV and $3,500 in cash found inside. Authorities say Yellowstone Rangers earlier this year approached Watkins' RV while it was parked after dark in a spot where overnight camping wasn't allowed. The Jackson Hole News and Guide reports Watkins admitted having several hundred-some pounds of marijuana inside. Watkins said she made several drug runs between California and West Virginia over the past 4 years. A new study by the Kids Count Data Center is drawing attention toward Montana families. Kids Count Communications Director Jennifer Calder says young families in Montana face a variety of challenges.
Approximately half of Montana's families with young children are low income. And there are kind of three primary challenges that these families face, which are inflexible and unpredictable jobs that don't pay enough. Many of these families lack access to high-quality and reliable early care and education. And generally speaking, there's a lot of stress both for parents and children in low-income families.
Kids Count Data Center has proposed a series of ways to help ease the stress of young families.
Expanding the earned income tax credit so non-custodial parents have more income, or particularly for low-income families, increasing the refundable child tax credit so that more families can access that, and that will help ease the burden of poverty. The state and local businesses can kind of adopt policies that will give more parents flexibility at work, such as paid time off.
Calder says a family in Montana has to earn a combined total of about $18 an hour to make ends meet. Finally, National Weather Service forecasters say dangerous cold weather will persist across much of Montana into later this morning. Forecasters say eastern Montana temperatures could reach 10 to 20 below zero. Wind chill warnings issued in western and northeast Montana. Our News Talk time is 6:10.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny and cold again today with our high temperatures topping out in the mid to upper teens. Wind chill readings will be well below zero at times. We'll see areas of snow developing late tonight, mostly cloudy with our lows in the single digits. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.